Hello, and welcome to a JC Applications Development presentation. My name is Phil, and I'll be spending the next 15 minutes or so presenting our LACHSWEB module, which is for online claim submission. I'll be looking at what the application does, what are the benefits to your organization in using that module, what are the features that the claims handlers can look forward to utilizing, and from an IT perspective, how secure is that tool? In essence, LACHSWEB is simply an online form. We've all used forms on the internet previously, and this is no different, but in this instance, it's collecting claim data. The claimant will go to your website and will register. The system then sends out a verification email, which gives them their password and login details. They then log in and upload that claim data. It's then passed to the claims handlers within the claims and insurance department, and they then review that claim data and choose either to reject it or promote it into the LACHS database. Once in the LACHS database, they can then process it as normal. There are a number of benefits to utilizing the application. First and foremost, it reduces the amount of work in terms of data entry because the claimant is doing that on behalf of themselves rather than having to do that through receiving a letter or a phone call within the claims department. It also ensures that the information that is obtained is correct and full from day one rather than having to go back to that claimant to ask for more information. And also, because the claimant is registering to utilize this service, they can then log back in again at some point in the future to review what they've submitted, as well as see any additional documents or notes that the claims handling team have chosen to share with that user on the internet. I've mentioned that they can log back in again to review their claim submissions. They can also make amendments to that submission and also upload documents and files in the process of submitting that information. In terms of compatibility, it will work on Internet Explorer, Chrome, Yahoo, as well as Safari, which is the Apple browser. It's also smartphone and tablet compatible. Within LACHS, there's also a means to potentially flag up duplicate claims. And in terms of what the forms look like, we can skin these to reflect the style sheets in use at your own organization and create new forms as well. So from an IT perspective, how secure is it? Well, your IT guys will be happy that it tracks IP addresses of those submitting the claims. It also has an option to incorporate web capture so that the end user enters some characters from an image, thus ensuring that it's a real person that's entering that information. You can also restrict the type, the size, and the number of documents that are uploaded during that process. And those are also virus scanned when they're uploaded. There's also an audit of successful and unsuccessful attempts to log in. Okay, so let's look at the application itself. It's, as I said, a web-based application, and it can be skinned, stylized to fit the requirements of your organization. So we just got some examples here of a public site. So this would be for the general public to access and enter their data. Alternatively, it can be reskinned for internal use, perhaps for departments and business units and employees. The process of registration is very simple. We just purely click on register and then enter in the relevant details. These are all mandatory fields, as is indicated by this little asterisk. We then get that verification email, and we can then log in to submit the claim. I've already done this before, so I'll log into the public site. And enter my password. And then log in. Obviously, the registered user can change their profile and their passwords. They can also submit a claim, which is obviously what we want them to do. Having submitted that claim, and because they've registered, they can then go and view their previous submissions, and also a means of claiming a further level of claim inquiry, which is usually made available to the internal users rather than general public. and we'll be looking at a little bit later on. So for the time being, I'm just going to submit a claim. There are 3 forms available in this example, one for property, one for motor, and one for personal injury. And there's this little blue button here is a contextual help, and this facility can be assigned to any question within the form. In this example, I'm going to choose to submit a personal injury claim, and I can do this at this point either on my own behalf or on behalf of somebody else. So I'm going to say that it's on behalf of somebody else and click the Yes button. Because I've registered, it knows some of my details that I've previously entered. They're shown here. I could obviously continue to show the rest. I'm just going to click on Next. Here's a splash screen that provides a bit more information in terms of the process of making that claim, which is useful for the claimant. And I'm going to go Next. And at this point, we then start entering some standard information that you would see within the LACS system. So incident date, incident time if appropriate, the location, and the circumstances. So I'm going to put in here the office, excuse my lack of imagination. And then go to Next. Now we're collecting information about the actual claimant. The address, and then a compulsory postcode. Some fields can also have validation assigned to them. So in this example here, the NI number has to be entered in a specific format. If we try to enter in an alternate format, then we get an error message telling us of that fact. So I'll go back in here and I'll put that in correctly. We've now got some custom fields that are specific to that particular type of or class of business. So put some information in there. Do we go to hospital, yes or no? And again, the doctor concerned, an address if appropriate, and the date of visit. I'll leave that blank for now. At this point, we can add additional representative information. We're used within LACS to add witnesses or medical experts as other representatives. On this particular form, we've just got the facility to enter witness information. So again, I'll put some information about that here. And then add that to the claim. And then finally, we'll go to the page that allows us to upload some additional documents. Again, by simply clicking on the Add button, we can then search on our local drive or somewhere else for a relevant document and add more if we require. And at this point, we can then review the information that's been submitted and, if relevant or appropriate, edit that. We can also print off that information for future reference and, of course, submit. Once it's submitted, the claimant is given a temporary reference which appears within the LACS system, as well as, if it's accepted, a automatic system-generated reference is also produced. So we go into the Claim Promotion app. This is what's used by the claims handling team to look at these forms and then upload them or promote them into the LACS database. Here's the one we've just looked at. We can see the information that's been collected. If we choose to reject, we just simply click on that button, maybe provide some information as to why that's been, or we can choose to promote that. At this point, we then ask for the usual type of information relevant to a claim, the policy, for example. If it knows the relevant excesses, they're already brought across, the department that this needs to be assigned to, the relevant handler, and also, if you wish to do so, you can put in the cause, damage, injury, and blame codes, but I'll leave that blank for the time being. Promoting that, as I said, will now produce the standard LACS reference, and I will then go to that claim and show what that information looks like within the LACS system. There's the reference having been created, and I'll now go to that particular record. Okay, so this is that information that we've just uploaded. We can see the standard information that we've collected. We can see the custom fields relating to the injury, the hospital, etc. The claimant information, the submitter, who is Paul Smith, the witness involved, which is Anne Smith. The status, of course, is also collected as to when the claim was registered, and any documents that have been uploaded are also put into the diary letters area. So again, that whole process has been done entirely by the end user, the claimant, other than that promotion into the system by the claims handler. So again, saves a hell of a lot of time. Okay, I'll now come out of there and go back into our record. If we review my claim submissions, we can then see from that particular claimant whether they've submitted claims previously. We know that that's been accepted, so I'll look at those that have been accepted, and again I can see all the claims that I've processed over the course of time. If I look at this one specifically, and then choose to view the promoted claim, this is what's been accepted, we can review the information that's been submitted previously, and again we can also see any uploaded documents as well as any documents or notes that have been identified and provided online by the claims team. So here we can see an action that's been undertaken by the claims handler, which is a site visit. And then finally we talked about the ability of being able to do claim inquiry for internal users. So again, if we click on there, we then see we get an expanded search facility. So we can look at particular reference numbers or claimant names or the status of claims, etc. So let's pretend where we want to look at all registered claims and then do our search. We can now see all the claims that have been registered for that particular team, department or business unit. And again, we can go back into that information to see the relevant data. That's it, really, for the demonstration. If you have further questions, then please get in contact with myself at phil@jcad.com, or you can call us on 01730 712 020. Thank you for your time.